Greetings students with a class 7. We are discussing chapter 3 of Civics, that is how the state government works. So yesterday we have discussed about some incident of scarcity of water in an area and about the disease of diarrhea, and then after we discussed about MLA. So let's start who an MLA is. So in the above section, we will start from here. You have read about some events in Patalpuram. You may be familiar with some official names such as collector, medical officer, etc. But have you heard of an MLA and the Legislative Assembly? Do you know the MLA of your area? Can you identify which party she or he belongs to? So this also we discussed yesterday in the class. Members of the Legislative Assembly, MLAs, are elected by the people. Then they become members of the Legislative Assembly and also form the government. In this way, we say that the MLAs represent people. The example below will help us understand this better. So, the people, they give their vote, they cast their vote and elect one candidate from their area, and these MLAs or these candidates work on the behalf of the people. They form government and then represent people and work for the welfare of the people. So see, every state in India has a legislative assembly. Each state is divided into different areas or constituencies. For example, look at the map below. It shows that the state of Himachal Pradesh is divided into 68 assembly constituencies. From each constituency, the people elect one representative who then becomes a member of the Legislative Assembly, MLA. You would have noticed that people stand for elections in the name of different parties. These MLAs therefore belong to different political parties. So how this legislative assembly works? See, the different parties, the candidates from the different parties, they contest election. There are some independent candidates also, and after winning in the elections, the majority party that forms the government. So one example is given of Himachal Pradesh, that for the election of legislative assembly, the state of Himachal Pradesh is divided into 68 assembly constituencies. So what does it mean? So how many MLAs will be there in Himachal Pradesh? 68. One member from each constituency. You understand it? Hanji. So next para. So how do people who are MLAs become ministers or chief minister? A political party whose MLAs have won more than half of the member of constituencies in a state can be said to be in a majority. So what does it mean? That after elections, the party whose seats are more, means more than half seats, who get more than half of the seats, that party forms the government. Maximum number of MLAs and more than half of the numbers, total numbers, then they form the government, and that party is called majority party. The political party that has the majority is called ruling party. So this is another important thing, so underline it. The political party that has the majority is called the ruling party. Why it is called the ruling party? Because this party forms the government, forms and run the government or rule the state. So that's why it is called ruling party. And other members are called the opposition, means the members of other parties, they are called opposition. One ruling party gets the majority of the seats, and then they form the government, and all other parties, the members of all other parties, they form the opposition. For example, the Legislative Assembly of the state of Himachal Pradesh has 68 MLA constituencies. So, this we have discussed. Hanji. Then, candidates from various political parties won the 2017 assembly elections and became MLAs. Since the total number of MLAs in the Legislative Assembly is 68, a political party would have needed to have more than 34. 34 means half of 68. So, more than 34 MLAs in order to gain a majority. The Bharatiya Janata Party with 44 MLAs had the majority and it became the ruling party. So BJP that got 44 seats or 44 MLAs. So that became the ruling party, majority party. All other MLAs became the opposition. In this case, the Indian National Congress (INC) was the major opposition party, means the second party with more votes or more seats. More number of MLAs. Since it had the largest number of MLAs after the BJP, means second largest party with seats. Among the opposition were other parties, including those who had been elected as independent candidates. So this also we have discussed about independent candidates. Yes, beta. Then after that, all the members. Here we discussed that all that Congress party, that was the second largest party, and there were some independent candidates also. See the next para. After the elections, the MLAs belonging to the ruling party will elect their leader, who will become the chief minister. So, the party with majority of seats elect their leader as their chief minister. I think this is understood. And then in this case, the BJP MLAs choose Shri Jairam Thakur as their leader and he became the chief minister. The chief minister then selects other people as ministers. After the elections, it is the governor of the state who appoints the chief minister and other ministers. See, that is all the ministers. These have been selected by the chief minister of the state, because he selects these according to the requirement, and then the governor of the state, he appoints them. Formally he appoints chief minister and other ministers, but the work is done by the chief minister. Next, the chief minister and other ministers have the responsibility of running various government departments or ministries. So these people, means the chief minister elects the other ministers. Then those people who have been elected as ministers by the chief minister, they are given different portfolios, means different departments, and each member is responsible for running the work of his or her department or ministry. They have separate offices. A legislative assembly is a place where all the MLAs, whether from the ruling party or from the opposition, meet to discuss various things. So whatever the issues are there in the state, all the members, means the members of the ruling party and the MLAs or members of the opposition or independent MLAs, they all sit together and discuss various issues or various things regarding that particular state. One as an MLA and the other as a minister. We will read about this further. See, the head of the state is the governor. So beta, here keep this thing in your mind. Head of the government is chief minister in a state and head of the state is the governor. So he or she is appointed by the central government to ensure that the state government works within the rules and regulations of the constitution. So find out the name of governor of your state. So this is your work. And the rest of the chapter we will discuss tomorrow. So have a great day.